All right, people, what the hell is going on? It is Saturday, and the football season has started. We had a Thursday night game and a Friday game, which I only seen parts of both of those games because my team ain't in neither one of them. Like I said, I'm waiting on the Texans to start playing, which will be Sunday afternoon. It's a 3 o'clock start for us here in Central Time Zone. And I don't know what the fuck to expect from the Texans. I really don't. I see all these people with their predictions and all this other stuff, they rankings, and a lot of that shit just don't make no sense to me because you don't know what the fuck it's gonna be because ain't nobody played the game yet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, this team gonna be this team ain't gonna be that, this team ain't gonna have this, that, blah, blah. You don't know what the fuck people about to do because this is a new season and you don't know who gonna be good, who gonna suck, and none of that. All of it is TBD, to be goddamn determined. I left the GD part out of that. I'm not anyway. Yeah. So with the Texans, I don't know. You know, a lot of people have the concern with the offensive line, which is justified because we don't know. People are saying that, the offensive line is going to be garbage and all this other stuff. You don't know that. You literally don't have the information to make that prediction. You just don't. You can say you can make a open-ended comment about that's, it's important for them to be able to accomplish whatever it is they want to accomplish, blah, 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 but you can't say it's going to be garbage. You can't say it's going to be good either because you don't know. The Texans got a whole new offensive line except for Titus Howard. He's the only one left on that line out of the 5 from last season. You know what I'm saying? All the way up until you get to the left tackle, there's 4 new people there. So you can't say that the line is going to be poop. Which, one of the starters is out. It might be out for this game. The right guard, that Ed Ingram guy, which I don't know nothing about him, but he done enough to where they stuck him in the starting lineup with the ones and was there up until season start. And he just got put on he might be, I don't know when the injury list. I'll catch that news up later on. But he's supposedly going to be on the injury list and might miss this game. So they might end up raising somebody to that right guard spot or they might end up shuffling the line around. I doubt they do a whole line shuffle. You know what I'm saying? Somebody was saying that the other day. They might shuffle a line around and stuff like that. You really want to do that right at the beginning of the season? Now I understand if you cross-training everybody, you should be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to take your right tackle, move him to left tackle, move him to right tackle, bring the backup left tackle up to the starting left tackle, and then, move your right tackle down to guard because that's basically what they would have to do. And I'm just like, no, whoever's the number 2 guard, stick him in there. You know what I'm saying? Stick him in there. You don't start fucking with the whole line continuity and shit like that, having people playing somewhat out of position. Even though if you move with people where they were playing previously, at least at some point. But anyway, that's the deal with that right there. You don't know what a Texans offensive line is going to be. That's really the only concern with this team, is the offensive line. As far as I'm concerned, everything else doesn't fucking matter to me. It's just like yesterday, it was with the injury report, they were like, Christian Kirk is going to be out. And I'm like, bro, what are y'all doing in practice? To where motherfuckers make it all the way through OTAs and then training camp, and then the final week in practice, motherfuckers is pulling up lane. When they in the starting lineup. When they in the starting lineup, motherfucker, here come game time. And then 3-4 days before the game, motherfucker, my hamstring, I'm like, get the fuck out of here, dude. It's gonna be one of the things. It's gonna be like fucking, what's that? Cam Robinson, fucking around. Cam Robinson fucking around and got hurt. Lost his goddamn job. They paid that man all that money to come here and start at left tackle. He fucked around and got some kind of goddamn injury during training camp, and didn't get put back in there with the ones. You know, from what I heard, he was pissed. And whatever, you know what I'm saying? It be like that sometimes. They feel the motherfucker they put in there was better than you. If you hadn't got hurt, he wouldn't have been in there to take your goddamn spot. You can't really control when you get hurt and shit like that, but hey, man, that's what fucking happens. Say that Christian Kirk. Stuck Chris Kirk, I mean, all this time, bro, and that was been, motherfuckers keep saying he can't stay healthy. Can't stay healthy. And I was one of those people from what I heard from his injuries and shit. The only one I really knew about was collarbone injury. I'm like, well, at least it wasn't no lower body shit. He a fucking receiver. I ain't gonna really worry about no injuries with receivers and shit like that, because as long as it ain't no lower body shit. Here you go. This now, all of a sudden, right before the season started, now this motherfucker hamstring want to be acting up, and he gonna be out the first week, maybe two. And they got motherfuckers right behind them. You know what I'm saying? They stick that Noah boy in there. I don't know if he a Jalen or a Jaden. I think he a Jalen. Jalen Noah. They stick him in there, depending on what he do. Christian Kirk might get slid down the goddamn depth chart. You know what I'm saying? They put Jalen Noah in there, and the Texans do what they do. Yeah, you getting slid down the goddamn depth chart. You gonna be sitting on the sideline giving out advice instead of being in there in the game, you know, playing. Motherfucker gonna be getting paid anyway, but I mean, still. So that part don't bother me about this game coming up though. With the receivers, they got a lot of receivers, but two of their goddamn receivers pull up lame, right? Christian Kirk and Braxton Berrios. Berrios, yeah, he wasn't gonna be able to do much anyway, because I don't think he was gonna get enough game time. I think he's supposed to be returning punts and shit like that. But at receiver, I don't think he was gonna get a whole lot of running at receiver. I've seen enough of him in the preseason to know he could play. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that stuff has got more to do with the game plan rather than the receivers themselves. And as far as the Texans are concerned, from what I've seen of the Texans during my time watching them, it ain't never been the players for the most part. It ain't never been the players for the most part, except for a couple of quarterbacks. But you know what I'm saying, that you can't get no more on the spot than that. You fuck up. But especially right before you get the what they call that, the Lovie Smith and the guy that was here right before him, those teams suffered from horrible coaching. Not the players. The players are fine, because a lot of those players went to other teams and did just fine. But it was the coaching here. And I think that was the thing with last year, is that I think the players that we had were adequate. Didn't have no superstars on offense, but the players that we had were adequate. The game plan, the shit that come from the coaching, was not. That was it. You can blame Hutchinson and Mechie for not being superstars, but if you got an offensive coordinator that don't know how to work those guys in, hey, it is what it is. You know, they're gonna suck. It don't matter who you got out there. And then with the offensive line play, it just that shit was just fucking horrible. So I'm not worried about that part. You know what I'm saying? Because we gonna see what the offensive line does. Because that as far as the offense is concerned, everything lies on the offensive line. Because everybody want to be talking about, well, you know, we don't have Joe Mixon. I don't care if we got Joe Mixon or not. If the offensive line ain't no good, it don't matter who you got back there at running back. It don't. It really, it just doesn't. It don't matter who you got back there at running back. If your offensive line ain't worth shit, don't matter. You know, Mixon barely scratched out 1,000 yards last year, but I mean, a lot of that shit he had to get on his own, but not when we needed it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like right when we needed it, which is like on a consistent basis. No, motherfucker get smacked in the backfield so goddamn much it didn't make no sense. Offensive line, man, ain't Mixon fault. And it's the same thing with the running backs that we got this year. We don't have Mixon. He out with some mysterious injury. He ain't gonna be around. He might not even play this season. You know what I'm saying? And depending on how the season going, I wouldn't stick his ass in there. You know what I'm saying? If the Texans is going good, going into the middle of the season, and it's time for him to come back, well, when you get back, is some motherfucker walking on the freeway over there? Oh, man. Anyway. It's a dude walking right in the middle of the highway. I don't know if his car stopped over there or if he's trying to cross. And you do not want to be trying to cross. Well, if I hear some screeching or some shit, I'll know what the fuck happened. Anyway, but with the running backs we got, I think we got enough to be adequate running the game. You know, we got Chubb, Pierce, and Marks. I don't want to hear shit about Dare. You know what I'm saying? Because it don't fucking matter. If the offensive line does what they supposed to do, it don't matter who you got back there at running back for the most part. It don't. You know what I'm saying? For what they gonna want to be doing, it don't matter. If it, all of those guys, all four of those guys, even the other running back that they got, that's just as British Brooks. You know what I'm saying? Even if he was back there, if your offensive line is doing what they need to do, at least a little bit, you're looking at 3-4 yards per carry or something like that. You know what I'm saying? That's enough to keep the chains moving forward. That's if your offensive line is halfway decent and they doing what they supposed to be doing on most of the goddamn running plays. Don't matter which one of those running backs is back there. If the offensive line ain't, it don't matter who you got back there. They gonna get smacked in the backfield. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't. The only thing you need a motherfucker that can get you 3-4 yards, maybe 5. You know what I'm saying? If he get a little bit of a crack or some shit like that, and you ain't just running straight up the goddamn line all the goddamn time like they was doing in preseason, because that's all you had to really work with. They didn't start running off tackle until like the 3rd game of the fucking preseason. You know what I'm saying? At least that I noticed. I was like, what? They ran a goddamn play to the outside. I was like, goddamn, that's the first time I done seen that. And I done sat here and watched all these games. At least most of them. I've seen all the games, but most of the games, at some point, you don't even want to watch this shit because you know ain't none of them guys going to be on the team. So, yeah, that part don't fucking matter. If your offensive line is halfway decent, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be able to move the ground on the ball with the personnel that we got in the backfield. You know, you just is. Because I think all those guys are halfway decent. Just running in a straight line forward. You know what I'm saying? That's all you got to do is you just get the ball, go that way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Bobby Slowick game plan was like running the goddamn ball. But apparently, like when you got somebody like Dameon Pierce. And people are like, well, Dameon Pierce ain't showing me nothing. Dameon Pierce ain't showing me nothing over the last couple of years, blah, blah, blah. You know what? That's not even the issue with Dameon Pierce. The thing with Dameon Pierce is that he always hurt. He always have these soft tissue injuries. Which is weird because he always got these soft tissue injuries where he's out for like 2-3 games at a time. But he don't get the carries and shit in the game. Like, where are you getting hurt? Is it just in practice, or are you just tearing shit walking around the house? Cause he always fucking hurt, and he don't get enough carries in the game. Because the few carries that he did get, you can say he ain't showing nothing over the last 2 years. You know what I'm saying? The few times I done seen him get the ball, like legit, the few times I done seen Dameon Pierce get the ball was bam, right into a brick wall. With nowhere to run. So what the fuck is he supposed to do? You finally stick him in the game to carry the ball, and it's one of them plays where he getting hit in the backfield. Well, what the fuck he supposed to do with that shit? I don't know. And then you take him out the game and you run the ball 2 plays later, and the next running back, boom, he up the field for 15 yards. It's a big gaping ass hole right there. Well, that hole wasn't there when fucking Dameon got the ball. Is that his fault? They just happened to open a big ass hole when the other running back just, it's one of them things. He ain't gonna be able to show you nothing if you just putting him in the game for 1 or 2 carries at a goddamn time, and ain't no holes being opened up for him. And the only time at the end of the season they put him in started him in the game when you didn't want your starters in there and playing against a bunch of junk people, and he torched their ass up. You know what I'm saying? He torched their ass up. What was that, Tennessee or somebody? Lit their ass up. Like what you would expect. You throwing back that return kicks, which is good for Dameon Pierce because he got the speed to break them, because he has. But you can't really arm tackle him like that. And a lot of guys that they have back there returning kicks is like, you get back there, they fast guys, but they light. You ain't get a fast guy back there that's strong. So you get back there, boom, and you get a little crack to run through. You run through that, and motherfuckers think you about to go down. They're like, nah, nigga, I ain't going. You gone. Hit that little shit and run away from it. Dameon can do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he good for that. If they gonna use him for that, they should. If he gonna be your second, third running back or something like that, his ass better be back there returning kicks. Put it like that. Anybody else back there returning kicks, I don't know what to say about the goddamn coaching staff. He's proven his worth at that level already. Ain't nobody else out here who else done returned a kickoff for a touchdown for the Texans in the last couple years? I don't know. The shit happens so rarely. I'm just, but the only time I can remember is fucking Dameon Pierce doing it. So I don't know why he wouldn't be back there if he's not your number 1 running back. If he's your number 1 running back, I can see. But he's not your number 1 running back. You got Chubb back there for that. Stick his ass back there with somebody else to return them motherfucking kicks. Since they got it right now to where they try to make you return the kick. If they gonna make you return the kick, where you gotta kick inside the goddamn zone to encourage people to return the kicks, put somebody back there that's got a chance of fucking running that bitch back instead of just catching a ball and getting tackled for a 5-yard return or some bullshit. So yeah, that's it with that. CJ Stroud is fine. Like I said, everything, the receivers, the quarterback, the running backs, all that shit is fine. Tight ends, all that shit is fine. Offensive line got to do what the fuck they do. The offensive game plan is different from whatever Bobby Slug was doing, so I'm assuming that it's going to be better than it was last year. But the offensive line got to hold up. And we won't know that until the goddamn until that first snap. Well, a few snaps into the game, because they going up against some people. So they going up against some people. So yeah, this gonna be a nice little test to see how they gonna hold up. And the defense, I can't say shit about defense. Defense is defense. You know what I'm saying? Defense is defense. If they do what they did last year, except for giving up those big plays, because that was the thing with the Texas defense, they beat your ass. You get the sacks and the tackles for a loss, and then boom, they go 30 yards, 40 yards, long ass touchdown. Beat your ass all this other time, and then it's that one goddamn play that fucked all of it up. You know what I'm saying? It's frustrating. It's like they dominate you on all those plays, and it's that one goddamn play. You know what I'm saying? You think that motherfuckers is just tearing the goddamn defense a whole new asshole. Nope, that's not it. They got their 50 yards on one goddamn play. Them other plays, they got screwed over. You know, it ain't like your defense just getting punked and motherfuckers is chunking you up the field 5, 7, 8 yards a play or some shit like that. Nah, it's that one big ass goddamn play, ridiculously long play. I'm not even talking about 20 yards or some shit. I'm talking about just, man, what the fuck? Because they do that all the time and then end up giving up field goals. So that just shows you how the defense is. You getting down now. You know, get you a big ass chunk play. You better get to the end zone, because you might end up just kicking that bitch. You know, or you end up giving it up. You know what I'm saying? Because hopefully the Texas defense is steadily opportunistic, as they was last year with the picks, get some fumbles and shit like that, turning the ball over. You know, and putting some points on the board, because you definitely needed that last year. With, you know, when your offense can't do shit, defense got to score goddamn points and stuff. Hopefully that won't be the point this year. I mean the issue this year. But we hoping. I'll be here watching. I'll be watching. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what the fuck they do. And I don't have no prediction for the game, because first of all, they playing in LA. So I'm rooting for the Texans to win, but if I had to put some money on the game, I'd probably keep my money on the sideline. For this one, I keep my money on the sideline, because I think it's like a toss. I think it's like a toss-up, because I don't know what's gonna happen with what's his face, Stafford. Is he really hurt, or were they just kind of just fucking off and giving their old man quarterback a little off time? You know what I'm saying? Till the season start. I don't know, because if he's hurt, where they talking about motherfuckers getting epidurals and all kind of shit like that, if his back is that fucked up, then I don't know, man. I don't know. I just hope. I'm hoping we have one of those big quarterback destruction days, like they did Jared Goff and they did Justin Herbert last year. Just another one of those, you know, good quarterbacks. Yeah. Let's hope we have one of those goddamn games against. Let's hope we have one of those games against Matt Stafford where this motherfucker just decided to throw 17 interceptions in one goddamn game or some shit like that and fuck him up. What's his name had a fucked up game against them too. Worst game in his career or some shit. God damn it, Josh Allen. They fucked over Josh Allen too. They fucked over Justin Herbert. They fucked over Josh Allen. They fucked over Jared Goff. You know what I'm saying? Don't, you know, you fucked. I mean, legit, just fucked over those three quarterbacks. And I ain't talking about just having like a good defensive game. I'm talking about just fucked over those quarterbacks in those 3 games. You might get one of those in a season. You know what I'm saying? Maybe none of those in a season. They ain't goddamn 3. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully they have one of those games against Steph to where he ain't just gonna be lighting your ass up and shit like that. Because this is a good team. They got deep in the playoffs and was, I think they was the closest team to beating the Eagles last year. You know what I'm saying? They was the closest team to beating the Eagles in the playoffs. So yeah, the Texans, like I said, the Texans is going up against some people. So don't think this ain't the Chargers from last year. You know what I'm saying? This is a legit team. This would to me, this would be like playing the goddamn Chiefs or the fucking Ravens, playing the Rams. Like legit. I would think this would be like playing the Chiefs or the Ravens. And if the Texans want to be where they want to be, they got to beat teams like this. Because like I said, this is an AFC championship team. Well, they played in the AFC championship. So yeah, got to do it. So we're going to see. It's a toss-up to me for us who is going to win and shit like that. But after the game, at some point, I'll have another goddamn video out. And I don't know if I'm going to be disappointed or I'm going to be elated. Could be both. There's been games where the Texans won where I wasn't all mad and shit. It depends on the game. Sometimes you see them playing the game and they end up losing and you're not really disappointed with that game. So that could happen too. So until Sunday evening, I will catch y'all later.